Good morning. So it's been a while since I've done a Q&A, and I thought I'd do one again. I got an interesting question today that I'll just jump right into. The question is, what has been the most unexpected joy of unschooling, and what has been the most unexpected challenge of unschooling? And I thought this was interesting because a lot of times when people will ask about unschooling and they'll say, so tell me the pros and cons. All I have is pros. I can just spout off about how wonderful it is, and it truly is. And I sometimes think that I have trouble coming up with cons. But having thought about this, I think the answer to both questions is unschooling is much bigger. In order to do it well, unschooling is much bigger than I think people realize it is going in. So the most unexpected joy to me, and this is kind of a general, kind of cliche answer, but it's absolutely the truth. My most unexpected joy was just that I didn't realize how much I would love it. That I would love it this much, that it would be this all-encompassing. It's not just a method of homeschooling. It's an all-in, full proposition, whole family way of living. That's my dog at the door. Okay, so my oldest Spencer is 18 now, which means that, and we've always unschooled, which means that we've been unschooling, he's been school age for over a decade now. And we do. I love it. I didn't know how much I would love it, and I didn't know what a way of life it would become for me, and I didn't know what a passion it would become, and I couldn't have predicted that. Like, I couldn't have predicted the level of joy it would bring. Not just to me or the kids, but just to the family. And I said something in a comment somewhere recently. When you unschool and you really get it and you're really in that groove, it's like a joy that's so great that it spills all over everything. It's just not even confined to unschooling. And of course there are hard days, and you go through periods that are a little rougher than others and you have to find your groove again, but overall it's just a really joyful way to live. The biggest joy, though, by far, is simply getting to be with my kids and being there and doing life with them for the past 18 years. It's been such a gift. It really has, and there's no way to describe that if you haven't done it. It really is the best thing and the best part of unschooling. And for the second part of the question, as far as challenges, I think very similar to the first question is that a lot of people go into unschooling with sort of a narrow definition of it, and they don't realize how broad and all-encompassing unschooling really is. So one thing that was unexpected to me and challenging at times was that I didn't realize how much, in order to unschool well, how much work I would have to do on myself. You can't do it halfway, and you can't expect that it's really going to go as well as it needs to if you're not dealing with your own issues, and if you're not listening to dealing with your own issues in terms of whatever sort of things that are holding you back, but also any sort of hang-ups that you might have about school and education and your own past, any sort of old voices you might have in your head about maybe how you were raised, or how you were told kids should be raised. A lot of times we revert back to things that were just ingrained as habits, and we don't take the time to really stop and, ask ourselves how we actually feel about it, if it's something we want to do or if it's something we're just doing because it's always been done that way. So you have to do the hard work to work on yourself in that way and make sure that you're healthy mentally, and also make sure that you're living a life that you would want your children to emulate in terms of being interested in things and being interesting to them and being passionate and following your own goals and having your own plans, and not giving in to sort of negative self-talk and not being defeatist. And I mean, being real, of course, but also just continually working on yourself and taking care of yourself. And it's easy sometimes to sort of slide into a pattern, particularly, you have young kids and you're busy, and you sort of just go through the motions sometimes, and it's really important not to do that. Even when it's harder sometimes, you need to make sure that you're also working on yourself, because unschooling is just as much about you as it is about the kids. And even though it's been challenging at times, it's also been the most rewarding, because I have grown so much through unschooling. I wouldn't be the same person that I am now if it wasn't for unschooling, and that was unexpected. Thanks to Chelsea for that question. It was a great question. If you have other questions, send them and I'll answer some more. Thanks for listening. See you next time.